Hi there, welcome back to my collection. We are on shelf 7 and we are on to the Hagen Renekers. Hagen Renaker is a company that produces animals of all sorts and sizes and shapes in Southern California. They have been in production since the 40s and are still making horses and animals today. I do encourage you to look out and look up and find out about them because they are producing absolutely amazing horse sculptures as well as animals. This particular little shelflet has a bunch of the Hagen Renaker minis. I won't go through every one because that would take forever, but I want to point a few out. I won't be able to zoom too much, so I apologize, but you could always pause and zoom if you find something interesting. These guys are the stoneware geese, and then these two ducks back here and three actually, are the original late 40s, early 50s ducks. This guy is really cool and uncommon because he has his little feather or a flower in his hat. It's attached to the hat by a little wire and is fairly fragile. He's not the most stable of pieces anyway, so you don't find him a lot, and especially not with the hat and the flower still intact. This guy is one of the stoneware pieces. Then we get some of the 1940s and 50s woodpeckers. They have metal legs, so you will occasionally find them with those legs all bent into odd positions. Be very careful if you try and bend them back, because where the metal connects into the ceramic is fairly fragile. So make sure you secure those legs well before you try and bend them so you don't break them from the actual animal themselves. These sheep are older, as is this pig. He is a fairly uncommon piece that wasn't produced for very long. Um, These cows, the holy cow and these two cows, were also produced by some of the family companies, Brazil Renaker and Loza Electrica, as well as being copied quite heavily. So if you see them in the wild, there's a couple of good sites that tell you which pieces are which. But do be aware that they were produced by many different companies in many different colors. So check them out before you think that they're a Hagen Renaker. This elephant is really cool. They made, I think, 2 or 3 elephants on these little circus bases. And this one is very uncommon because he has the gold edging the blue. So that is an extra step because the gold cannot be fired. So most of these you will find with either blue or pink colors, but you will rarely find them with the gold. They were made for a very short period of time because it's costly to do that extra step to pull them out of the kiln and put another layer of paint on them. So these are fairly hard to come by with that little extra detail. This little giraffe baby is a fairly uncommon piece. He wasn't made for very long. Bunch of squirrels. I love them. They're very cute. These guys have a little piece of wire in their foot because you can attach them to, I think they were originally meant to attach to like flowers, like in flower arrangements and stuff. But that's a cute little extra detail. This little deer here, the sister deer, is fairly scarce. And this beaver here is in a very unusual color. It's called, I believe, our spruce, although I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It is a color that was applied to the piece after firing, so it is very fragile. And if you ever find one that's dusty, don't wipe them with water, don't clean them with liquid, because since that color is applied after the firing, you can wipe that color right off. So be very careful when you see them because they are pretty fragile and that color comes off very easy. Now in the front we have a bunch of Disney and non-Disney pieces. So the first piece is the mermaid from Peter Pan. Then we have 2 ladies from Lady and the Tramp, and I believe they are both Disney. However, for instance, Trusty here, this is the Disney version. This is a non-Disney version. Disney did take these pieces and produce them in different colors after the Disney license was finished. So here we have a Disney tramp and then a couple of non-Disney tramps. So when you see these pieces, like Trusty and all the little puppies, you can find them in both Disney and non-Disney colorways, with the Disney obviously being a little more valuable. Then we have a Dumbo from Dumbo. He still has his little original feather so that he could fly, which is very hard to find. Usually when you find him, that feather is long gone. This little cardinal is from Sleeping Beauty, and he is our spruce color painted, so he's very hard to find, A, because he's so darn tiny, and B, that paint is very fragile. The little fawns are from Fantasia, and then Mickey is from a series called Mickey and Friends, where they made Mickey and Goofy and Donald and Scrooge McDuck. He is a band leader, and he's pretty hard to find with his little baton head still intact, because they weren't made for very long. They were pretty made a very long time ago. And red is a very difficult color. They usually are rarely ever fired. So any piece that is made of ceramic that you see red on, the red is applied afterwards. So again, that color is very fragile. And since he is red and then has the yellow applied on top of that, he has two colors that are applied after firing. So he's pretty hard to find in good condition, particularly. And then these are non-Disney, but they're just too cute with the little kitten and the spilled milk. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Next week will be some more Hagen Renaker minis, and then we'll move on to some more miscellaneous stuff. So until then, keep watching, keep collecting, and hope you can go out and find some of these in the wild. Thanks a lot.